Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice of radio. So today, we are going to be looking at an absolutely over-the-top, ridiculous card and seeing if it can actually be beaten, or if it is just, in the most literal sense of the word, absolutely broken. It is the Legendary Beast Trio card, which is being released in the Legends of Johto collection. And before anybody tells me, I know it's an oversized card and I know it's not actually legal for tournament play, but I love analysing new cards. It's literally one of my favourite things in life. So I thought it would be fun to have a look at this card and see if it is in fact unbeatable, or whether we can in fact take it down. So to start off with the basics here, it's not looking good for anyone that ever plays against this card. 500 HP is absolutely redonkulous. It is literally double the HP of Wailord, and Wailord is our go-to, oh my god, it's gigantic kind of Pokemon. That's pretty good. It has free retreat, which is of course great. People play things like the Tapu Koko for free retreat, which is kind of upsetting that it's also got free retreat. No weakness puts it up there with the Tapus in terms of, oh yay, now I'm not being hit for weakness. So it's not like you can just hit 250 damage if you're hitting for weakness, which would potentially be something we'd be able to do. You've got to hit the full 500, and it's not got any resistance, so at least there's one bad thing about it. Also, it is a colourless Pokemon, so it's not hitting anything for weakness. Not that it really needs to, but it's not, and that's the main thing. And also, I should mention here that it's not getting any of those tricks. It's not a water Pokemon, so there's no Brooklet Hill or Aqua Patch here. It's not a lightning Pokemon, so it cannot use something like Ether Paradise Conservation Area, and it's not a fire Pokemon here, so it can't use something like Volcanion EX to add some damage with Steam Up. Not that it would really need to, but it can't, and that at least is one saving grace. Now the attack has a very awkward cost. 1 fire for Entei, 1 water for Suicune, 1 lightning for Raikou, 1,000 damage. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, even a Wailord with a Fighting Fury belt would not be able to take a hit from this. It would in fact do 4 times as much damage as it takes to KO a Wailord. So you're going to be getting a one-hit KO on absolutely anything with this attack. The flavor text says, Raikou, Entei and Suicune embark on a year of legendary adventures. I mean, I suppose essentially what they're saying is, look, we're going off for a year of adventures, so we're just going to do this like 1,000 damage now, and then we're going off on a year of legendary adventures. Honestly, if this is embarking on a year of legendary adventures, don't you think there should be some kind of additional effect of this attack? Something like they cannot attack for a couple of turns afterwards. Because really, if they are going and embarking on these adventures, they should take a couple of turns off from attacking, you know, to allow you to get a couple of hits in. Now, the one saving grace here is that they have got this super awkward energy cost. Now, what you essentially have to do is just play a bunch of energy and then hope you draw into the right ones. Because one of the things you might find if you were to play this card is that you draw a bunch of fire and lightning energy but no water, or a bunch of water and lightning energy but no fire, or a bunch of fire and water but no lightning. You might actually not be able to get the energy cost, and if you're playing against this card, this is one of the things on which you will be relying. Although really here, you're probably thinking Max Elixir. Max Elixir here is absolutely huge because it means that you can attach extra energy, and I know that generally attaching too much energy would mean something like a Gardevoir would have a little bit of a field day, but given that you've got 500 HP, you would need 17 energy between Gardevoir and Raikou, Entei and Suicune in order to do 510 and actually get a one-hit KO here, so putting a couple of extra energy on here isn't going to make you terribly scared of Gardevoir, which is a nice thing. And Max Elixir is going to be important here because otherwise you're taking free manual attachments, free turns to get rolling here. Now one could argue that with 500 HP, maybe you've got enough turns to warrant doing this, But even so, you want to get going as soon as you possibly can. The other thing you should bear in mind here is potentially using rainbow energy, because rainbow energy means that if you can only hit 2 of these 3 types, rainbow energy comes in and provides that 3rd type. Now, admittedly, rainbow energy will take away 10 damage, leaving you at just 490, but you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I think you're going to be able to deal with that. The thing is, Raikou, Entei and Suicune's not a GX, so it only gives up 1 prize. It should give up 3 prizes. If it gave up 3 prizes and couldn't attack for a couple of turns, maybe this would be slightly less ridiculous. It only gives up 1 prize, and you can't even use something like a choice band to try and accelerate the amount of damage you're doing here. And honestly, if you try and beat this card with damage alone, you're probably going to fail. If we look at some of the really big hitters in the format at the moment, let's say a Buzzwole GX using Absorption GX if you've not taken any prizes. That is 240 damage, which sounds like a lot of damage, and it is, but you're not quite getting halfway. Now, if you had a strong energy on here, then that means that you are hitting 260, and now maybe we can work with this. And Buzzwole could use Fighting Fury Bout to do a little bit of extra damage here. And it could use Strong Energy like we've mentioned. And it could use Regirock, so all its attacks do an extra 10 damage. And it could use the upcoming Diancie Prism Star, so all of its attacks do an extra 20 damage. And, of course, B-String's coming out, which will help you to accelerate the energy onto here. Maybe a couple of Buzzwole could 2-hit KO here. But then, of course, you're talking 2-hit KOing. And it's for 1 prize, while your opponent is sitting there taking 2 prizes as soon as they get free energy on here. But the depressing thing is, there is a way to beat this card. If this card were legal in a tournament, you would be able to beat it. It's just no fun. The way you beat it is, you play a Disruption deck. What you do is you play one of these classic Disruption decks, maybe something like Wobbuffet, to turn off your opponent's abilities while having a blocker. Maybe you play something like a Sylveon, so you can use Magical Ribbon in order to search for the cards, but you just play Energy Denial here. Now, of course, don't forget you've got Oranguru, who can use Resource Management to recover all of these cards from put them on the bottom of your deck. But honestly, ladies and gentlemen, the way we beat this is the way that these decks play. And if you ever watch my stream over at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio, you will know that these are not the kind of decks I enjoy playing against. I don't consider them very much fun. But you can use Crushing Hammer to get rid of their energy. And you can use Team Flare Grunt to get rid of their energy. And then you can use Team Rocket's Handiwork to get rid of some cards from the top of their deck, try and make them deck out a little bit faster, try and get rid of some of their energy. You can use Guzma or Counter Catcher to pull a Pokemon up from the bench that doesn't have enough energy on while you get rid of your opponent's energy on the bench. And then while you're doing all of this, you can use cards like Lusamine and Puzzle of Time and the aforementioned Oranguru to just recover these energy. Because as much as this card is essentially entirely unbeatable, if you just have yourself a fair fight, in terms of just, you know, doing damage, the reality is that actually it can be beaten, because having to have 3 different types of energy on here actually open it up to being decked out by a Disruption deck. There's no point playing 1 copy of Gardevoir in your Sylveon list unless your opponent really does put you in a position where you can get 17 combined energy on both Pokemon. As it stands at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, it's not looking good. So don't try and beat this card using damage and traditional means. It's not going to work. But I tell you what, this card actually is susceptible to Disruption decks, Energy Denial decks, Deck Out decks, these kind of decks, which is weird. But it's nice to know that the card is not entirely unbeatable, although it is completely over the top ridiculous, and there is a very good reason why it is a jumbo promo that's not legal for tournaments. As much as it's fun to sit here and analyse the card as if it were a real card, if this was a real card, it would be play this or play a Disruption deck. They're your only 2 choices. That wouldn't be fun. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, do let me know what you think about this particular card. Tell me if you like these kind of speculative videos, pretending they're real cards. We all know they're not, but I like things like this. It makes me happy. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and so on, then head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio where you can do that. And do check out Wassy Plays, my video game / Dragon Ball channel. New video went up yesterday. I think it's pretty good, but I suppose you'll have to go and be the judge of that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.